Hey guys, leave a like on this video if Kaiju Universe needs to re-add music. I know Roblox took down like the Godzilla music for copyright issues, but we need some music, dude. We can't just be walking around without music. This is bananas. I need battle music if I'm gonna eat people. I missed the tunes. Anyways, welcome to Kaiju Universe official tier list right here. Official because it's pretty freaking official. Okay, so for today's tier list, I wanted it to be exactly perfect, like perfect. So I got my buddies Tiltachi and PMAC to give me their advice, and basically the three of us just calculated each creature on the tier list to figure out where it's gonna be. PMAC is just generally a really good player. He's in my Discord and a fellow YouTuber, and Tiltachi is one of the most insane Kaiju Universe players I've ever come across. She was even awesome enough to calculate every single Kaiju statistics for this video just to make sure it's absolutely freaking perfect. So huge, giant, mega thank you to Tiltachi and regular thank you to PMAC. I'm just kidding, dude. There he goes again. Also, originally, this was supposed to be the three of us talking, but the way we'd go over it, we accidentally spent like almost an hour and a half talking about every Kaiju where it belongs on the tier list. So I had to refilm this because that was literally going to be like an hour-long video. Like, this had to be 8 minutes. There was just no way. This tier list will be based off of how strong stuff is at max level, since a lot of stuff doesn't reach their, like, full potential till their max level. So if anything's confusing, that's probably what's mixing it up. A lot of stuff is absolutely freaking terrible at base level, but just, like, insane once it reaches max level. So yes, it's time to get it going. Leave a like on the video for more Kaiju Universe stuff, and let's do it. Wait a second. Before we start, this is super important. This is like the most important thing we've ever done. This is the utmost importance. I heard that they closed up this tunnel in Tokyo, and now oh my god, you can't even go down to Hollow Earth from Tokyo anymore. That is so upsetting right there, dude. That was that was my escape plan. Also, subscribe if you guys haven't already, because we should try and hit like 10 million subscribers this year, and we have a little bit of work to do. I'm just gonna leave Kaiju Universe open in the background so we can kind of listen to the rain and sounds of Mecha Godzilla's torturing stuff. Okay, so this is the tier list. Here's all the Kaiju down below. Some of them may have undergone slight changes since the last time they've been shown on here, but basically there's all the Kaiju, and there's 4 tiers: S tier, A tier, B, C, and D. That's 5 tiers. Now, keep in mind, once more going through this, that this isn't just my judgment call. Me, Tiltachi, and PMAC went over this for hours. We downloaded all of our information and knowledge onto this, and Tiltachi and PMAC are 2 of the most insanely skilled people I've ever come across in this game, so I trusted their judgment enough to post a video of it. Okay, so Godzilla landed in the C section. Wait, ew, a C section. In the water, it does have double damage. It is one of the fastest creatures in the world, but it does have barely any health whatsoever and moves insanely slow on land and does barely any damage on land. So, on land, it's a D. In the water, it's a B, casually landing it in the C. Okay, Batra is insanely terrible at low levels, so I did not have much say in this because my Batra is a low level, but Tiltachi's Batra is max level and claims that it is one of the most craziest, or not one of the most, but a decent freaking creature. Okay, so Batra landed itself in the B section. I know for a fact I gave it like a D, but Tiltachi gave it a high grade because hers is max level. And once they reach max level, then they're freaking unstoppable. I'm sure PMAC landed in there too. Alright, Megaguirus went up to the A selection because it has insanely high damage, insanely high movement speed. It doesn't have that much health, but if you're skilled with it and you dodge stuff, it's very lethal. Oh, Godzilla Jr. over in the D section. I'm laughing so hard in my head right now. I just remembered Tiltachi and PMAC. They wanted to just delete this thing, but you can't delete it. Okay, this little fart I was extremely biased against because, I don't know, they always troll the crap out of me. They're very good trolling creatures. They're not that powerful, but they are decent at trolling, and when something's not that strong but decent at trolling, they end up in the C section. Alright, Bio. Now, Bio is insanely slow, but it has so much health, and at max level it does so much damage, meaning it's better than a C or a D, but it's not quite an S or an A, which lands it in the B section. Okay, this Mothra lands up in the S section because Tiltachi and PMAC are freaking insane with theirs once they've reached max level, and this little fart also ends up in the A section due to its, like, basically slightly broken hitboxes and just capabilities if you're skilled with it. Honestly, I'm not that good at describing this part because I'm horrible with these moths, but like Tiltachi and PMAC insisted that once you get these things to max level and use them skilled, then they're freaking insane. Manila lands itself down in the D section. It was insanely godly, but since they accidentally made it way too OP, they super nerfed it, and now they're trying to figure out what to do with it. So currently it's down at a useless little turn in the, oh god. Okay, Mother Longlegs, I wanted to give an F to. I wanted to give this thing a big sneaking F, but Tiltachi and PMAC both gave it a C, which landed us in the C section. I'm very biased against Mother Longlegs. It's so incredibly weak. Wendigo Crawler into the D section. Absolutely, we all agreed on that one. It's missing like the lunge, which is a key component for the Skullcrawler's attack strategy. Without the lunge, it's useless. 1954 actually going in the C section because even though it's a starter, once you get it to max damage or max level and use it correctly, it can actually do a lot of damage. I wanted to put Skullcrawler in the S section, but PMAC pointed out I'm incredibly biased and I have to be realistic about it. It does so much damage per second, but it barely has any health, meaning it's not an S or an A, but it's not a C or D, so there you go, get a B, little buddy. Okay, we actually put all the main Godzillas into the A section. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that now because that does... I mean the new Godzillas, like in the last like recent movies, all into the A section because they all are actually incredible if you use them correctly. Even the nerfed Godzilla 2021, but they're not strong enough for the S, not quite yet. This little turd going in the B section, Jaguar. I'm not saying their names every time, and I keep forgetting to, but I have my own little nicknames for them. Like turd. I guess I don't need to explain it every time because it's gonna get boring. Then this own video is gonna freaking hit an hour long. This is why it's so hard to avoid. Just assume every selection had like 20 minutes of thought put into it. Tiltachi literally had all their stats analyzed beautifully. I'm just gonna start flying through these so we don't actually take an hour because I just realized that's exactly what's happening again. Okay, Showa goes into the B selection. Titanus Rodan into the S section. Wow, good for you, little buddy. It does undergo constant nerfs, but it also does get constant buffs, and if used correctly, I will explain Rodan. He's one of, like, Titanus Rodan's my favorite kaiju. Alright, Manda was a tough one. We wanted to give it D. I wanted to give it D because I'm terrible with it, but Tiltachi pointed out there are some professionals who use it very well, but still on land it's a bit of a stuck turd, so we have the same sort of situation as Ghizorah over here. Kamakuris is a demon of the sky who will eat your eyeballs out. Put him in B. Turkey Rodan. Where did we put him? I'm looking at literally like a finished chart right now. If I look over, I'm looking at the finished road we did together. Turkey Rodan into the B selection. All right, little Kong into the B selection. I know that might seem ridiculous to some people, but he's actually really strong. Frickin' Anguirus into the C section as well, because if you use like a pro, it is better than a D, but it will never be a B no matter how... I guess if you're really, really, really good, it might be a B, but if you're average, you're gonna go C. This little monster obviously goes into the S. If you've ever been targeted by a max level skilled one, you know exactly what we're talking about. Okay, since we're only doing max level, we're just taking this one, who's going to end up in the B selection, whereas this handsome devil ends up in the A selection. He's like freaking incredible, but he's not quite broken, and you have to be a little broken to go S tier. Big Monkey goes into A with the giant lizards. Burning Bio goes into B with the other bio, because it's really not that much more better. The Fish goes into B as well, because it's a formidable fighter, but it's not quite an A. Okay, Mecha 2021 goes into S. That's just a fact of science. That thing is so incredible if you use it right. It has such a large arsenal of weaponry. It's insane. Ghidorah goes into A because it's strong, but not quite an S. This little fart poop goes into D. I'm sorry. Zombie Gigan also goes into D. They don't even have the zombie thing fixed right now. It can't even infect. Birding shall go into A, because if you use it correctly, then it's a freaking beast. It used to be an S, but after that giant nerf, it's just an A now. Did I say B? I'm an A. Nuclear, I'm sorry. We're going to have to put you into B, buddy. It has a giant update coming, so after the update, I'm sure it'll be S or A, but currently it's so predictable. It's easy to maneuver. You know what they're going to do. It's a B. Okay, Scylla's going into C. She used to be an A, but after that giant nerf, a C easy. Now, the turtle, we're actually going to put up into the A, which seems ridiculous to some, but if you use its water buff and have, like, all its powers active, and use it correctly, then it could actually kill a Godzilla just about solo, so he's earned his spot. Whereas Frost Godzilla goes into S, obviously, because it's currently very broken. It beats almost anything in a melee. Alright, Monster Zero obviously goes into S2 because it's Monster Zero. Mecha Ghidorah isn't even in the game anymore, but it used to belong in the A, so I figured we'd put it there. Godzilla 2000 also going into A because that thing's actually really incredible if you use it right. Freaking Shin Godzilla stage 4 ended up in the B selection. It is very strong, but like you can't deny it's so slow, you can't really do much. This Ghidorah also going into A along with Final Wars and Mogura. Mogura used to be an S for sure, but after that update, now it's more of an A, it's more balanced, thank God. This little fart going into C, it's cute and it's strong, but like, come on, you gotta be realistic. You gotta look at like the B selection. Could it beat most of these? I'm not sure. Frigging Behemoth goes into A because if you're just brawling, it actually is insanely strong. The only way you're going to lose most fights is if people just kind of sky camp or beam from far away. Gotta put this Godzilla into B. A lot of these selections, I can't remember why we came to the decision, but I don't use a lot of these. Tiltachi has them all maxed, so I went off her word a lot, and PMAC was like the verifier. I cannot remember why this little guy went into C. They must have had their reasons. I would have given it a D, but they must have had their reasons. And then Destroya obviously goes into S. It's still the strongest thing in the game. Barely after its huge nerf, but it can beat any one thing. It just can't beat multiple things anymore. Whereas little Mothra larva is going into D. I love that thing. Mine's level 55, but it is doo-doo. Male Muto going into B. A lot of people might disagree with that and think it's really stupid, but it has one of the highest damages per second out of anything in the game. If you use it right, it actually does so much damage, but you gotta use it really right because it has no health. Female Muto going into A because she's also a respective freaking gnarly brawler along with like Behemoth in them. Alright, the Spider goes into C, which seems just about fair. RPO actually went into S, I believe, right? Oh no, it went into A. That makes way more sense. Okay. Because it's like, it doesn't have a lot of health once again, but it moves fast and it has such a large arsenal of weaponry. Whereas this monster goes up into S. These things, these Vudons get so powerful. Alright, this Jaguar Singular Point ended up in B too, because like we've all seen them. Once someone's very skilled with that thing, knows how to block, use their moves correctly, they're actually a very agile foe. Freaking Ultima lands itself in the A selection. It's very strong, it is. Its melee is unstoppable, but it's not quite an S. Like if you just, I don't know, kind of time your moves a little bit, its breath takes so long to charge, you can kind of weasel around with it. And Megalon, last but not least, goes into A as well. People might think some of that's silly, but like, dude, max out your Megalon and use it correctly. You will kill most kaiju. It's actually crazy. Like, people always say there's no fair starters in this game and like there's no way to get up if you just now fresh playing, but like Megalon is free. All you have to do is join their group to get him, and he's literally an A-class kaiju. And this isn't just my opinion. This is multiple professionals mixing their knowledge. Well, there's our official tier list. Now, if anyone has any huge issues with it, don't go being toxic down below and stuff. Last time, someone was mean to Tiltachi for something, and I'm still looking for that person. So yeah, let's all just be nice and civil. We're all fellow Godzilla fans, just comparing our experiences. If you disagree with anything, comment it down below, and I shall take it into consideration. But yeah, leave a like on the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!